with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
Good afternoon, I'm Elspeth Meisner, and thank you for joining us for your Erie News Now Weekend NOWCAST. We start with new information today as nearly 100 men and women tested today to be considered to be a police officer in the Erie area. Starting at 6 a.m., dozens of young men and women went through a series of drills and tests to measure speed, agility, and strength. They then had to run a 1.5 miles, do 25 push-ups, and 30 sit-ups along with other tests. Then this afternoon, those who passed that morning test will sit for a series of written tests to test their knowledge. Organizers so far said they were impressed with today's performance.
I give them a great deal of credit. The country is going through some times of tension. It's not always the friendliest atmosphere of police officers right now, and the fact that these young men and women actually want that job speaks tremendously to their character.
And coming up tonight on Erie News Now at 6 o'clock, you'll hear from some of those applicants about why they decided to become a police officer, or at least test to be a police officer. We've also learned today that one person has been hospitalized following an accident earlier this morning. This car accident happened on Kuntz Rd in Mill Creek earlier on Saturday. According to the 911 center, calls came in for an accident about 8:30 this morning. Crews from Mill Creek and Kearsarge responded to the one vehicle accident, as you can see right there. We've learned one person has been transported to UPMC Hammett. According to the 911 center, that person was in traumatic arrest on the scene and while they were being transported to the hospital. At this time, the person's condition is not known. And now turning to COVID-19 news around the region. Despite the spread of COVID-19 right now in Pennsylvania, our Governor Tom Wolf has ruled out mask requirements for Pennsylvania schools. He says he's leaving up the decision up to the school districts, saying school districts in Pennsylvania will have to decide what they want to do. He noted on Friday the CDC guidelines strongly recommends universal masking in schools, but said they're not mandating it, so neither will he. So far, for many local school districts, the school year begins later this month. As we've previously reported, both Erie and Mill Creek townships plan to go back to in-person learning and now have mask mandates in place for the school year. And Erie County health leaders say the area's COVID-19 problem is getting worse as the case totals continue to rise. The Erie County Health Department says we now have what the CDC is calling substantial transmission of the virus. And according to the CDC, everyone, regardless of vaccination status, should be wearing masks indoors. County health officials urge people to adopt masking once again, and they're urging anyone with symptoms to help get tested to stop the virus from spreading.
If they think they have the symptoms, and the symptoms could be anywhere, it might be a bad headache, it might be more congestion than usual, it might be a little bit of a cough. Sure, people get into a fever, but even with those minor symptoms, people should really think about getting a COVID test. There's lots of places to get them tested. The pharmacies do them. We occasionally have mobile testing through the health department. Really think about getting a test, even with those mild symptoms.
Certainly some wise advice there. Now turning to events happening this weekend, Edinburgh's Relay for Life kicks off this afternoon in just a few hours, and one local girl is helping the fight against cancer with a special fundraising drive. Setup has been underway for the past few days for the event, and it was all paid in part by an 11-year-old named Madison Bocart. She went door to door in Edinburgh selling raffle tickets for the Relay for Life fundraiser. So far, she's raised nearly $400, supporting the event being planned by her dance teacher. Bocart says she's lost family members to cancer and she loves her teacher. So despite all the challenges of selling door to door, she kept working for her cause.
I wanted to help people because I knew that a lot of people have lost a lot of loved ones from cancer, so I wanted to help, and when I got a door slammed in my face, I decided, well, that was only one person, I could keep on going.
Quite a lot of perseverance from that little girl. Edinburgh's Relay for Life starts later today with a party at the Lakeside Commons, but the main event is tomorrow. That's where there'll be food, vendors, festivities, even some pony rides and some fun activities for the whole family. All the money raised goes towards supporting people with cancer and developing research to cure the disease. Turning to some more lighter news for today, UPMC Park was packed this morning, but it wasn't for a ball game. Instead, it was for dog yoga. This morning, dozens of pets along with their owners enjoyed some yoga on the baseball diamond. It was hosted by UPMC's Western Behavioral Health at Safe Harbor, the Hammett Health Foundation, and UPMC Health Plan. Tickets could be purchased in advance, and all the money raised benefits Safe Harbor. Certainly interesting seeing the pets doing some yoga with their owners.
It's like fun and different, and pets are actually really good for people's mood. So there's a natural relationship between our wanting to promote behavioral health and the relationship between humans and animals.
And it looks like all the dogs had a pretty nice time along with their owner. All the dogs also got to leave with a treat bag too. Speaking of events coming up, the largest agricultural fair east of the Mississippi River kicks off in just 2 weeks. That's right, we're talking about the 75th annual Crawford County Fair. It's set to begin on August 21st. Due to COVID-19, things will look a little bit different this year. There'll be no concerts or rides, but the fair will still have all the farm exhibits and all the food vendors. As part of the celebration, admission is free. The Crawford County Commissioner set aside funding to cover the cost of the entire event for everyone to enjoy. And with the weekend now underway, there's a lot of activities going on the entire weekend. So we're going to kick things off with a favorite heritage festival that's returning, and that's in Little Italy's neighborhood. St. Paul's Italian Festival kicked off on Friday and runs for the entire weekend. There's a lot going on for everyone to celebrate everything Italian, from the homemade food to the live music and all the tasty desserts as well. The Italian Festival is held at St. Paul's Catholic Church at 16th and Walnut.
Well, they can expect a really big crowd of people, the best food of any festival in the city, and we hope they'd be a little patient because we have a volunteer corps here trying to do their best. And we've been working away all week preparing food and getting ready.
Certainly sounds like a big event and a fun event as well. It continues all through this afternoon, and as well as tomorrow, it is there for its final day. And sticking with events happening this weekend, the Dan Rice Days in Girard is wrapping up as well. The annual celebration is currently underway this weekend. It's all meant to celebrate Dan Rice, a longtime circus owner and performer who lived in Girard. And while the 55th edition of the event kicked off on Thursday with vendors, music, and other activities, it continues this entire weekend for families and community members to enjoy. There's going to be a parade that kicks off at 11 o'clock this morning. It just finished up soon, and there's still plenty of fun to be had by everybody who attends. And also wrapping up this weekend, after a one-year hiatus, the Concordton Community Fair returned in a big way this year. Big crowds have enjoyed the 92nd annual fair all week long. The event featured plenty of games, rides, of course the animals, and all the tasty fair food that comes with it. The fair wraps up again this evening with a big fireworks display. So something for everyone to enjoy this weekend, whether it's good food, some fair rides, or some animals. All that's celebrating their community. Well, thanks so much for joining us for the Erie News Now Weekend Nowcast. Be sure to tune in to Erie News Now at 6 for all the latest news, weather, and sports. Have a great Saturday.